Alright, so here's my O2 bung, and that's the one that I chose. I actually have several of them. Let me show you guys the other ones that I have. Let's see. So I have the one that came with my O2 setup. Let's see. Okay, I don't even want to take this out. No, actually, let me open it up. Actually, it's all oily, it's all greasy in there. So anyway, so this is the one that my kit came with. And this, I believe, this tapered end here, how it tapers in, is the side that touches the exhaust. So the height wise, it's a little bit shorter. Right, and I didn't necessarily like this one. That's the reason why I ordered this one here, and I got this on Amazon. Same thing with these next two. So, but you know, these first two, they're all flat. So you know, when you put a flat piece onto a round piece here to weld that, the spot where it's flat and it touches the top here, it's not so bad. But over here, where there's a gap, you know, anytime when you weld, there's a gap. You know, it makes for a horrible weld. So so I decided to get a curved one. Right, and this curved one it's almost a perfect fit. I think the diameter of this curve is actually a little bit smaller than this pipe here, just a tad bit, because I can see a tiny little gap right up at the this curve right up here. But it's almost perfect, and I was considering using that one, but I also got this one as well, and this one also has a curve, right? But it's angled because I wasn't sure where I was gonna put the bung, and if I had clearance for the sensor and the wires and everything or not. So after mocking all these stuff, I was gonna go with this, but I decided to go with the fin one because several reasons why. One was because the O2 sensor, you know, and I have a AAM. Let me actually show you my AAM. So this is what I got right here. The AEM O2 sensor engaged. You know, it's the whole kit. It comes with basically all the wires. The O2 sensor right here. This is a Bosch. What was it? It was a 4 point something. I forget. This is the newer one, the newest version, I think. 4.29 or something like that. Here's the air fuel gauge. And it's, you know, it's real easy, and it's just basically two wires. All you need is two wires. The red is the positive wire, and the black is the negative wire, and that's all you need to do is plug those two wires in and plug in the O2 sensor, and that's it. And you know, and find a place with it. So this is a lot of wire here, because this kit is, you know, meant for a car, not for a bike. So so anyway, so AEM and I guess Bosch also recommends for where to put the O2 sensor, you know, as far as how far away from the head. They say that they recommend at least 18 inches away, and that's usually for like a car. If you have a car that's like a turbocharger or something that's running hot and stuff, they recommend 36 inches. So basically either 1.5 feet or 3 feet. And a bike, obviously a bike runs hotter than a car. You know, it revs a lot higher. So this bike here, you know, if I'm on the freeway, it's going 65, the speed limit. I'm revving at over 7,000 RPMs, probably like 7.25. So that's, you know, that's beyond most cars could rev. You know, most cars will redline around 6,000 or so. At least 4 cylinders. 4 cylinders will redline around 6.5, somewhere around there. A V8 will probably be redline even lower than that. So this thing revs high. So, you know, because of that high revving, it's gonna be hotter out here. So I have put it as far back as I can. You know, obviously here's my can, so I can't really put it any further back unless I'm like, you know, right here maybe. But obviously right here is not a practical spot because it's, you know, either something will hit it, or if I'm leaning real far, I might hit it or whatever, you know, or the heel might hit heel of my boot right here, my hip, whatever. So this is probably the only spot I could put it at that gives me clearance for everything and everything moving, my foot, and the wire coming out here. And the distance, you know, is from the head to here is about 36 inches, so basically about 3 feet. Now I could have put, I was originally gonna put this one like this, so that it faces back, so it comes back this way. Right, the wire. Then I could hook it up to my bracket up here on my exhaust brackets. And then I could run it up into the bike. But I decided to go with the finished one. You know, like I said, had to do with the heat. So something that has a lot of fin, a lot of surface area could stay cooler. This thing is, you know, it's just all solid. It's pretty heavy compared to this one. This one's featherweight compared to this thing. So that's why I decided to go with this, so everything stays cooler. And you know, the angle's kind of awkward. You know, once I put my O2 sensor on here, I only have about maybe a 1/4 inch away from the swing arm. So that's why I did that. So those are my different O2 sensors that I got, and that's my you know, that's what I decided to go with. This fin one, and so I like it. So now all I need to do is just hook up my my O2 reading kit here, attach everything, you know, figure out what to do with all these wires. I mean, this is not a permanent thing. I'm just gonna leave this here for, I don't know, a few hundred miles, 1,000 miles at the most, probably, just to tune this bike, just so that I could tune it in all conditions, as much conditions as I could ride it, and I could see where it's at, and I could, you know, fine tune the bike. I mean, if you don't want to buy this kit, I forget how much this kit was. I also got this on Amazon as well. It was like, how much was this thing? Was it like $300 or $400 or something like that? I forget. But anyways, the O2 sensor by itself is already pretty pricey. The O2 sensor itself is, I think it's like $150 or something like that if you buy it by itself. This new Bosch O2 sensor. Let me see what this is the newest one. I forget what the number is. They call it the Bosch. I think it's like 4.9 or something like that. Let's see. Bosch. Oh, here it is. Bosch LSU 49, not 4.9. LSU 449 sensor. So that's the newest one, or at least the newest one when I bought this thing. Because I actually bought this thing quite a while back. I think I bought this thing about a year ago. You know, this project's been on hold because I have, you know, other things going on, lots of other stuff going on. So this project's been on hold, and also because I also was waiting for the big bore kit. I didn't get that until like a month or so ago. Back in the beginning of March, I got my big bore kit. So yeah, so that's my setup. Once I put all this together, I'll make another video just to show you how I just, you know, hooked it up and see how it works. And since this is not going to be permanent, everything's going to be zip tied. I'm going to zip tie the whole thing, even the gauge here on the handlebar. I'm going to zip tie this thing onto the handlebar as well. You know, it's only temporary for me to tune. Once I finish tuning, I'm going to take this off and put this plug right here back on and leave it as is. That's it. And that way I could, you know, in the future, I could use this setup for basically anything else. All I have to do is just get a bung, right? Or use one of the bungs I already have. Just weld it onto exhaust and do the same thing. So pretty easy. I guess the hardest thing is that, you know, if you know how to weld or not. If you know, I know how to weld, and I have a welder, so that's about it. But you know, welding this is not that difficult if you don't have a welder. The cheapest way to do it is to drill the hole, right? Once you drill the hole, where you know, mark it all up, drill the hole, and, you know, mark it up so that we can see that you have the clearance and, you know, where everything is, so that is a good spot and it's far away enough from the head. Then you drill the hole, and, you know, and you can do this with a hand drill. I did this with a drill press, but you can do this with a hand drill. Then you just take this and your bung to a muffler shop, and you know, and tell them, okay, I want this welded for me, and they'll probably do it for like $10, maybe $20 at the most, and they'll finish with it. You know, they'll MIG weld it, and they'll finish with it like in 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. I TIG welded this thing, so TIG welding is a lot longer. So it took me a little longer to do that. But why I take water is because it's a lot nicer looking. It's cleaner. It just you know, it's just better. Besides being slower. All right. So thanks for watching.